All right, now we're going to take a look at these transformations, reflections, rotations, translations. In this lesson, reflections and rotations in the coordinate plane, okay, on a graph, basically. So, like it says here, we learn a lot about transformations when we analyze their motions in the coordinate plane. Patterns reveal shortcuts, rules that allow us to quickly determine the coordinates of the image. So that's what we're going to try to figure out, some shortcuts in this lesson. I'm not going to do every one of these because it's going to take forever if I did. So I'm going to cut some corners here for you. All right, so we'll start off with this first, reflection over the y-axis. So both of these are reflections over the y-axis. We're going to do just one of them in order to save time, because otherwise if we do them all, you're going to just, it's just going to take forever. So I think we could see the pattern after just doing one of them. So reflect over the y-axis, that means flip over the y-axis. Make the y-axis the mirror. The y-axis, that's this, right? All right, so here's our 3 points. They list them right here. All right, so C is going to flip over and go right there. B is 3 units away, so we go 3 units on the other side. And A is 5 units away, so we just go 5 units on the other side. And boom, and boom, and boom. All right, and hopefully you can connect better than I did. But see the reflection, see how it flipped over the y-axis? Very, very easy. Now, what happened? Well, A was negative 5, 1, and now it's 5, 1. Okay? And B was negative 3, 7, and now it's 3, 7. And C was negative 1, 4, and now it's 1, 4. So take a look at what happened from here to here, here to here, and here to here. Negative 5 became 5, 1 stayed the same. Negative 3 became 3, 7 stayed the same. Negative 1 became 1, 4 stayed the same. You think the same thing's going to happen here, so let's just fill this in. We're going to use the same exact pattern. Okay, we could graph it, but we're just going to save time by not graphing. All right, so basically change the sign of the x. 3, negative 4, negative 2, negative 2. Negative 6, negative 9. All right. Do you notice a pattern in the coordinates? Yes, we did. What happened? We changed the sign of the x. Okay, so change the sign of the x. Okay, so rule for reflection over the y-axis right here. Rule for reflection over the y-axis. Our y-axis, remember lowercase r for reflection, subscript y-axis is what you're actually going to do, and then of xy is the point you start with. So it's reflection, y-axis, pre-image, this is your pre-image, and then this is your image. So what happens to your image? Well, we change the sign of x. To write in notation to change the sign of x, you just put negative x. You put negative x. Do we want to touch y? No, y stays the same. Look, negative 4, negative 4, negative 2, negative 2, negative 9, negative 9. The y doesn't change, so we just put y. So there's our rule for reflection over the y-axis. Change the sign of x. All right, so reflection over the x-axis now. Okay? Let's just do ABC now, okay? So A is 2, we're going over the x-axis. The x-axis is your mirror, okay? A is 2 below the x-axis, so we'll go 2 above. C is right on, so it stays where it is. B is 4 above, so we go 4 below. All right, and we label. There we go. See how it's flipped over? All right, this is B prime, and this is A prime. All right, so A prime is now negative 8, 2, just from the graph. B prime is now negative 3, negative 3, negative 4. And C stayed the same because it's on the axis, okay? So what happened now? Negative 8 stayed the same. Negative 3 stayed the same. Negative 2 stayed the same. The x's stayed the same. The y's changed sign. Negative became positive, positive became negative, so on and so forth. So that's going to happen here. So the x's stay the same, and the y's change their sign. And that is the pattern. Change sign of the y's. All right. So if we change the sign of the y, the rule is x negative y. X negative y just means change the sign of the y. Okay? A reflection over the y equals x line, our last reflection here. And we'll get into rotations. So flip over the y equals x line to go on the other side of the line right here. So C is right there, so there's the reflection. See that? So that's just right on the other side. B is here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So we're going to go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. There it is. And then A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Oh, let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. There we go. Okay. Oh, I don't think we did that right. Something wrong there. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. Let's try that again. C. All right. B is 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. There we go. A is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Okay. Now it flipped over the y equals x line. Okay. See how it flipped over that line? If you fold on that line, this will land on itself. Okay. And basically the rule is, it's very simple. Well, actually, let's get this first. C prime, this is B prime, and this is A prime. Okay, so C prime was -4, -3. Okay. What? Oh, wow, this is all backwards. Get rid of all this. This is supposed to say ABC here. Okay. -4 anyways. -4, -3 was the C, and now it's at -3, -4. So this is at -3, -4. All right. A was at -10, -3. Now it's at -3, -10. Oh, I must have miscounted. Had to go one more, sorry. Now it's at -3, -10. And B was at -4, -1, or -4, 1, and now it's at 1, -4. Okay, 1, -4. So if you look at the pattern, -10, -3 became -3, -10. -4, 1 became 1, -4. All that happened is they switched around. So it's switch the x and the y. Switch the x and the y for the reflection over the y equals x line. Now the y equals x line is that vertical line, not vertical line, that diagonal line right there. That's exactly in between the x and y axis. That's the y equals x line. If you flip over that, you just switch the x and the y, and that is a reflection over the y equals x. So the rule is going to be, please stay. The rule is going to be yx. xy becomes yx. Very, very easy. That's the easiest one. Okay, now, rotations are a little trickier. To rotate, we're going to be moving quadrants. So here's how we're going to move quadrants. We're going to rotate 90, all right? And we're going to say, all right, E, what is E? Remember, we're rotating around the origin. So I had to go up 2 over 1. So remember, we did rotations before, right? Up 2, 1 to the left. So we're going to go left 2, down 1. You just change the, if instead of up, it's left, right? Everything up goes left. Everything left goes down. That's 90 degrees, okay? D, up 6, 1 to the left. So go over 6 to the left and down 1. There we go. And then F is up 2, 7 to the right. So we're going to go 7 to the right. Oh, is it 7 to the right? 6 to the right. Wait, this is 6. Okay, so up 2, over 7. So we're going to go over 7 and down, no, we're going to go over 2, down 7. That's why. Over 2, down 7. That's what I was thinking. Okay, there we go. Now it is rotated. Okay, that is rotated. That is rotated, right? That is rotated 90 degrees. Okay? So it just turned around, went like that, and now it looks like that. Okay? So now we have our D prime. Here's D prime right here. Okay? We have E prime, and we have F prime. Okay? So D prime, and again, this is supposed to say D, E, F. We have mistakes here. We skipped ABC just in the interest of time, right? So D prime is now -6, -1. -6, -1. E prime is -2, -1. And F prime is -2, -7. Notice how the numbers are the same as these, except 1, 6 became 6, 1, 1, 2 became 2, 1, and 7, 2 became 2, 7. All right, and the only other difference is the signs change. Okay, so -1 stayed the same, -1 stayed the same, -7 stayed the same. So the X value switched to the Y position and it stayed the same. So the X value switched to the Y position and it stayed the same. The Y value came to the X position, 6 became -6, and it became negative. So it's Y, -Y, positive X. The rule is -Y, positive X for rotations of 90. All right, and that's kind of how we're going to go through this here. All right, so let's do this real quick here. Rotation 180. All right, and I'm not even going to, I'm going to treat rotation 180 like 290s, right? So rotation 180 is 290s. Let's just do the ABC here. So ABC is over 2, down 1. So we're going to go over 2, up 1. All right. And then over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, down 3. So up 7, over 3. All right. And then over 7, down 7, right? 7, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. Okay. So there is our rotation 180. Oh, and I messed this point up. I messed that up. So we're 7, 3. Should have been 3, 7. 3, 7. Should have been 3, 7 like that. There we go. Okay, now we got a rotation 180. And boom, boom. Okay, so this ends up being, and I want to try to save time for you on the video. We're doing A now. We're not doing this one. This is going to be -2, 1. This is going to be -7, 3. And this is going to be -7, 7. All right, so what happened? It looks like 2, 7, 7, 2, 7, 7, 1, 3, 7, 1, 3, 7. The X and Y don't change. So for a 180, the X and Y don't change, except the signs change. Positive, negative, negative, positive. Positive, negative, negative, positive. Positive, negative, negative, positive. So X and Y stay in the same position, but they both become different signs, so we make them both negative. That doesn't mean make them negative, it means change the sign. All right, a 270 rotation. We're actually going to just, we're going to skip the 270 and the 90. I'm going to give it to you, okay, but we're not actually going to go and do it because we don't really need to be able to do that. We just want to, I just want to throw it on there kind of for like, because we can always do for a 270, you could just do a 90 and then a 180, or you could do 3 90s. All right, so that's kind of how I recommend doing a 270 if you actually have to do one on a test or exam. All right, so I'm going to give you these. It's -2, -1, -3, -7, and then -7, -5. And this one becomes 6, 1, 2, 1, and 2, 7. Like I said, the rule is y negative x. Okay, and then a -90. A -90 is the same as a 270. It's the exact same as a 270. So the rule is going to be the same, y negative x. Okay, it's the exact same as, and we're going to skip this. A -90 is just going 90 clockwise. That's the same as going 270 counterclockwise, because 360 all the way around, right? So if you're here, if you're pointing straight up, 270 is going to go 270 is going to go like that to the right. Well, if you're going straight up and you do negative 90, that's clockwise, that's also going to go to the right. Okay, so negative 90 goes to the right, and 270 goes all the way around and goes to the right. So a 270 is the same as a negative 90. It's going to have the exact same rules. That's why I'm kind of skipping that. We don't really need to memorize that. It's just kind of, it would help you knowing, if you know the 270 and the negative 90 are the same, then you got the rule right there. All right, so I'll see you in class tomorrow to practice these coordinate rules.